Let me ask you something. Why do the most strongest and most smartest people often collapse? Why do they burn out, give up, or sabotage everything they worked for? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most misunderstood thinkers of all time. This answer you will not find anywhere, no social media, nowhere. It is a warning. Friedrich Nietzsche is warning us, right? If you ever push yourself to be more than average and you strive for greatness, then this video is for you. But Nietzsche didn't just admire greatness. No, he diagnosed its danger. Nietzsche believed that all living things are driven by something deeper than survival. It's not just about staying alive or being happy. It's about power, growth, dominance, and becoming more. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want me to start having gameplay in the background, let me know and I will. I hope you enjoy. He called this the will to power, a deep biological instinct to expand ourselves, overcome resistance, and shape the world around us. For Nietzsche, this drive explains why people chase status, wealth, fame, and excellence. It's why we build civilization, invent ideas, and overcome our fears. It's why some people, just a few, become higher men. These are the creators, the visionaries, the warriors, the leaders, and thinkers who step outside the herd and say, I will create my own values. I will decide what I become. But here's the problem. This same drive that makes you powerful can also become the weapon you use against yourself. And Nietzsche admired strength, but he also understood its danger. The higher man, he said, lives at war, not just with the world, but with himself. See, when you raise your standards, everything becomes heavier. Your ambitions, your guilt, your silence, your isolation. The higher man doesn't ask for sympathy. He expects more from himself than anyone else ever could. He doesn't want comfort. He wants conquest, even if it's his own mind. But this creates a brutal irony because the man has the strength to rule others, often can't stop him from crushing himself. Nietzsche warned that the higher man is prone to self-contempt. He sees his own weakness more clearly than anyone else. He punishes himself for not being superhuman because anything less feels like failure. The average man blames the world. The higher man blames himself. And eventually that pressure becomes unbearable. Nietzsche didn't just believe higher men fail because they are bad people. He believed they fail because they demand too much. Too much control, too much meaning, too much perfection. Let me give you an example from Nietzsche's own life. He was a prodigy, a professor at 24, a brilliant writer, poetry writer to be, exact. By the time he was 44, he had collapsed mentally and physically, alone, sick, ignored, and yet still writing with the fire of a man who had something to prove to the universe. He also got really sick and was almost blind in one eye. Vision got really bad, so he loved to read. He was a voracious reader, in other words, but when he would read, his eye would start to hurt and he would get a headache, so he had to cut back. But he still kept doing it, obviously, right? It's Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche. But let's get back to it. He demanded everything from himself: truth, honesty, and greatness. The world ignored it. In the end, it broke him. He predicted this. And though Spiritusha, his spiritual masterpiece, he writes about the tightrope walker, a man trying to cross one building to another. He symbolized the higher men caught between the animal and the Übermensch, the overman. But the walk falls, he dies. Why? Because the path of greatness has no safety net. You either rise or you fail, and most fail and fall. What Nietzsche describing is the psychological burnout of the hyper-ambitious. You push yourself harder than anyone else. You can't rest. You just keep going. Rest feels like weakness. You chase perfection, and you hate yourself for falling short. You isolate yourself because no one else thinks like you. Sound familiar? You start thinking, if I can't be excellent, what's the point? If I can't be aligned, I would rather be nothing. Nietzsche called this nihilism. When your values collapse under their own weight, it's not laziness. It's the dark side of idealism. You believe you were born for something more. And when the world doesn't give it to you, you turn the knife inward. Nietzsche warned us the great danger isn't failure. It's losing the will to strive because your standards crushed your spirit. So what's the answer? Do we lower our standards and give up? Go back to being average? Not according to Friedrich Nietzsche. He didn't want to give up their power. He wanted them to master it. And that starts with understanding this. Your drive to grow is not the problem. Your perfectionism is not the enemy. But if you don't learn how to carry it, it will destroy you. Nietzsche offered no cheap comfort, no just be yourself nonsense. He challenged people to become the Übermensch, the overmen, not perfect men, not happy men, but men who create meaning out of chaos, men who can laugh at pain, men who can dance on the edge of suffering and still keep moving forward. He wrote, "What does not kill me makes me stronger. But if only you transform the suffering, if you let it eat you alive, you become bitter. But if you use it the correct way into strength, you rise, but to become indestructible, even when life breaks you." So why do the most ambitious men destroy themselves? Because they carry more than anyone else. Because they demand more. Because they dream bigger. But Nietzsche's warning wasn't a curse, it was a challenge. If you are one of those people and you felt the weight of higher standards, of big dreams, of relentless pressure, then you are not broken. You are on the tight rope. You don't forget. You can either fall from it or you can learn and dance across it. The choice is yours. Will you become the Übermensch? Become higher men? You will strive for greatness, in other words? Or will you stay average? The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you like me having, video games in the background and me just pulling up pictures, I'll keep with that. If not, let me know. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you all for the support.